Like a little Jam Brown on a Wednesday night. What's going on, everybody? You know who I am. If you don't, I'm going to reintroduce myself. It's your boy Darnell Sparrow, aka the Bad Superman himself, and this is the Get Snap Podcast. And on the other side is the man who needs no introduction, but he getting one anyway. The smooth operator himself, Antoine Smooth. What's going on?
Man, what's going on, baby? How you doing?
It is Wednesday. It is that time. It's one of my favorite times. It is that Q&A. They ask the questions. We give our thoughts and opinions on them. And I love the questions that come through. You know, they give us a little bit of everything, little old school, little current stuff. They try to challenge the mind a little bit. But we going to get this ball rolling. I just want to get started. Just knock this out of the park. Because I was looking at these questions, and these are some interesting ones. So we're going to talk about them. Ready to go? All right.
Let's do it.
We're going to take up with the first question. What are your thoughts on Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lauren Taylor at WrestleMania?
Oh, man, I was 15 when that match happened, 14, 15. Man, I'm showing my age right there. But anyway, I thought it was a pretty decent match. You know, of course, Bam Bam, pretty much carried that match. Didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was appropriate. Of course, WrestleMania, you got to have some sort of celebrity either in the match or making an appearance, So for me personally, didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was pretty decent, actually. LT kind of held his own.
That's what I was going to say. He held his own, but I was a little disappointed in LT. No, not in the match itself, but the fact that he was supposed to be a New York Giant. Why are you wearing purple?
Yeah. You know what? That is true.
You a New York Giant, but represent your team, man. One of the most dangerous men in football. You laying folks out. You had the LT earrings. You had the all team. You had some of the baddest men on defense on your team. Should have represented them.
And then had Salt and Pepper. Then Salt and Pepper walk him out.
Salt and Pepper. No, they won my thing. They sung him to the ring. I mean, you had it all. Yeah. Should have wore them colors. But I'm going to stick on this for a second. Do you think that loss kind of buried Bam Bam? Because I'm going to say so. Let me tell you why. To me, Bam Bam is a natural heel. When he turned face, it just like all his momentum was done. And on top of that,
I agree.
And on top of that, his entrance music was pretty much the same music Lawrence Taylor had for WrestleMania. It just kind of tweaked it just a sip.
Right.
I'm like, he come out with the fire jacket on with the flames. I'm like, no, you was a bona fide face. Now the Bam Bam in the 80s when he had Oliver Humperdinck, that's different.
Oh, right.
That baby face Bam Bam I could work with, but he was older. You're a bona fide heel. So that's why I think, in a sense that he lost all his steam that he had.
I agree with you on that. Well, let me ask you this here. You think they was the wrong person for them to kick out $1 million corporation?
Oh, that's a tough one. For storyline purposes, no. No. Okay. For the fact that, why they kicked him out, no. I think he lost the Bam Bam. They tried to keep him, it just didn't work out. But like I said, they tried to send him babyface, try to team him up with Diesel. I mean, it just didn't work. I mean, he could have stayed heel and just could have just got the $1 million team. Could have been like that man without a country kind of situation. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Now, this is an interesting one. Should teams like the Young Stallions or the Fabulous Rougeau brothers won the WWF, I'll say, tag team titles?
Oh man, this is a good one here.
I'm gonna let you sing.
This is a real good one.
Oh, go ahead.
Now, okay. Now I'm gonna say this. I could see more. I'm leaning more towards the Rougeaus than the Young Stallions because the Fabulous Rougeaus were hated. Either with Jimmy Hart or without. They came from Montreal, Quebec, and they. All of a sudden now living in Memphis, Tennessee.
Let me back you up on that. When they first came, they were baby faces. They were baby. They were
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they were
they were
baby
very
faces.
popular. They
You
got
right?
with Jimmy
Yeah,
Hart. They turned heel. Like I said, they did the whole Memphis, Tennessee thing. Had the All American boys. They should have wanted around that time when they had
yeah.
teams and the Rougeos. You had Strike Force and teams like that. They should have got it wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
would have liked to see them win it. Now the Stallions to me, they could have, but I think they were too they were like that team that they'll win all their matches at house shows but wouldn't win on TV. I mean, they had the look. They were,
Mm-hmm.
I say, they were young. They had the look and stuff like that. I mean, they were popular. But I think Strike Force kind of killed their momentum because Strike Force came on and they were way over. Now I think if Strike Force
Yep.
wouldn't have teamed up, then yeah, they probably been a quick run, but they probably would have got a shot or got a chance to reign. Like I said, it would have been super short though. Demolition or somebody probably would have just took him from him with ease.
Destroyed them. Yeah. Okay, I agree with that. Okay.
See, let's go to the next one. Then this is a good one. What are your thoughts on Michael Hayes winning the U.S. title from Luger in 1989 and had a 2-week reign? That,
I actually liked that. It made sense. Michael Hayes, one thing you can say about Michael Hayes, you can either cheer him or boo him. He can work both. He just that guy that you like. He like you said, was like Tully Blanchard. He was a cool heel. People everybody like Michael Hayes. And then the babyface just made it better. But the 2-week reign, I kind of understood it because Luger was the guy. He was starting to become the guy, excuse me. And I think was this after the Horseman? Was this after Horseman? Yeah. After he left the Horseman,
oh
Luger
yeah, they
became the
weren't
guy.
putting
Well, he was almost becoming the guy.
putting that
So,
title on him. That's why he had the U.S.
oh
title so
man,
long. But man, I was on the fence about it. Cause like I said, I'm so used to seeing Michael Hayes
yeah.
with the Freebirds, so it was kind of weird. It's just like when Stan Hansen did it, but I liked when Stan Hansen won it. It made sense because they had the feud and how he beat Luger. Because you didn't know if Michael Hayes was either
Mm-hmm.
good or bad. They were like, okay, he won the U.S. title. It was just one of them ones like you kind of shrug your shoulders on. Like I said, I'm so used to seeing him with the U.S. titles, the tag belts, or even the 6-man. As a singles run. Now, on the flip side of that, if it was more like a TV champion thing, I probably wouldn't. I'll probably be like, yeah, okay, that make a little sense. But the U.S. title in that period, that was a hit or miss for me. I say
Mm-hmm.
maybe if they would have gave him maybe a couple months
Okay.
run just to see, how he'll do with it. I like them what do they call them short term champions?
Yeah.
Them like something like that don't make sense to me. I mean, what was
Mm-hmm.
the point if you was gonna put
Short
the
term.
belt back on him anyway?
Right. There was like the thing with well, I understood the reason that Kerry Von Erich beat Ric Flair at
Right.
the Parade of Champions back in '84 because David Von
He
Erich
couldn't even
passed.
hold
I
it down.
understood that.
Well, he
But I
lost
ain't
it on.
expect
He
to do
lost it
it
because
that quick. Yeah.
he didn't want to go and defend it. He wasn't that champion that they wanted. Ric Flair
Yeah.
went everywhere. Sure did. That's why I said Michael Haywood pretty much was like
True.
that transitional champion. I guess they tried it, didn't work. Put the belt back on
Yeah.
him. I mean, it was weird.
Back on Luger. Yeah. TV champion.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
the
right.
Western
I could
States
see him
held it,
being that.
tied on him for the little short reign. They had that belt. I wouldn't give him that, but the U.S. Nah, I wouldn't roll with it. But
Yeah.
we gonna move on. What about the actual Roman Reigns wrestled The Rock at WrestleMania?
All right.
This upcoming WrestleMania.
Should he wrestle the Rock? Yeah, wrestle the Rock. It'll be interesting, something new. I would like to see them two go at it. They already started
Right.
a family thing with him and Jey Uso, so So why not have him face The Rock? You know, one of the biggest stars in the wrestling business, and then also that's his family as well.
And right,
So
that's
I wouldn't
you
mind
kind of
seeing it.
led into what I was
Should be a
thinking.
good match.
You're gonna if you're gonna do this, like I said, one is
Hmm.
gonna have to make sense. You probably gonna have to go through the whole family. It's gonna get to a point
Yeah.
where you're gonna have to go through Jay, Jimmy, Rikishi. Probably gonna see some other members maybe come through every now and then. You basically gonna have to turn on the whole Samoan dynasty to get to the Rock. Now, would you think they're gonna
Hmm.
have a match, or it's gonna
Right.
be more cinematic?
I can't see that being cinematic. I would them have a one on one
Right.
straight up match. That's what I'd rather see. You know, I'd rather see that than some cinematic because that's
Nah,
not made for cinematics. You know, I want to see
right.
how
And
these
I'm
people
thinking
actually
if
go.
they do this, and hopefully by the next WrestleMania they can go somewhere to have some fans, it'll make it even more better. So
Hmm.
you think Roman's gonna hold the title all the way to WrestleMania? I don't really see
I
no
think
competition
so.
for him.
After Jay, who else he gonna face?
I mean,
Who else he gonna
like I
face?
said,
Right?
the only way I could see something
Who he gonna?
changing is if they ever decide to do the trade or do the draft. I'm sorry, and bring some fresh faces in there.
Yeah.
And like I say, the Fiend, I see that's probably going to be a lengthy feud. I'll say at least up to the Royal Rumble, and then they'll probably be done with that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I would like to see it. But if they do this,
Yeah.
they're gonna make a huge deal out of it. I mean, they're gonna have to sell it. They're gonna have to sell it.
Oh yeah.
What they shouldn't do, and what they
Oh
shouldn't
yeah.
do is
Box
do
office.
what
That's
they did
box
with Rock
office.
and Cena.
Yeah.
Don't push it so soon. Let it build itself.
Right.
I said
Because
let
that's
it
a
happen
storyline within itself.
unexpectedly. And there's
Yeah.
some other. I saw another question here that's leading. That's probably going to we're into. Since we're talking about Roman Reigns and stuff like that. I saw another, but we'll get to that as we go along. But now this was a good question. I like this question that we got because if you saw NXT when Finn Balor fought for the NXT Championship against Adam Cole, if you saw it, they gave each other love. They threw up the two sweet at the end. So would you like to see a Bullet Club type come to NXT?
Uh, would I like to see Bullet Club? Well, yeah, actually I would because you got them against the Undisputed Era? That
Because
would be
you
my
remember, I
dream to
said
see
it.
that. You know what I
I
mean?
said it on a podcast that at some point they're gonna kick
Yeah.
Adam Cole out. Adam Cole's gonna be they're gonna kick Adam Cole out eventually.
Yeah.
And this will make perfect sense.
Hmm.
And him and Finn Balor get together. You need to go bring somebody from another brand in or get somebody that's in paying to come in. At least get a third man. I mean that would be perfect.
Right.
Now what their name will be, I
Hmm.
don't know. I say I wouldn't use the club that's already been used, but I would definitely like to see it.
Yeah.
I mean that'll be one of them good
Yeah, I
lengthy
would definitely
feuds because
because
we had one last time we had a good faction on faction feud.
it's been a long time. Um, let's see. I could go back, but I don't
That's what
want to
I'm
go too
saying.
far back. But
I mean, I'm talking
it's
about
been a
good. I'm
while.
talking
It's
about
been a
like
while. Yeah.
those DX and Nation feuds, like stuff like that, like those NWO feuds
Yeah.
when they was fighting each other. But yeah, we
Right.
need a good faction feud to, to happen, and
Yeah,
it's,
we
in
do.
due time. I think it's gonna happen. Now we about to take it back to Memphis in a
Yeah.
sense. This is more your wheelhouse. I love to hear your input on this. Do you think that the Fantastics were Fabulous One knockoffs?
You know what? You know what? I was just thinking that when I look at them, I kind of thinking they are because the fabulous ones when they started out they had the coats, the top hats, the canes and stuff, and doing the strut, because that was, of course, created by the fabulous Jackie Fargo. That's how he created the Now the Fantastics, they kind of, I'm kind of like 50-50 on there because they didn't have everything. They just had
And
the little
they
jackets, and that
strutted.
was it.
They had the matching.
They strutted,
I wonder why so many people tried to
right?
mimic them. I was like, what
And
made? Since we're gonna stick on that. I mean, what made the Fabulous ones so popular? Even I mean, they were faces for a
I,
long time. They turned heel. I remember '91 when Jim Cornette came around. But what was it about them besides the ladies?
what was about the Fantastics? Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, it was it was something different. The lady, it was pretty much all about the ladies. The ladies loved the Fabulous one. They had two, you know, good looking dudes, Stan Lane and Steve Kern. They had the top hats and the strut and they
And
could
Stan
talk too.
wasn't a talker when he
Both
got
of
to the
them could
Midnight
talk.
Express.
So
But we,
no,
I mean,
when
we
he
know
got to the
Steve
Midnight
Kern can
Express,
talk.
he let it all out. Yeah. So it was mostly about drawing the ladies to watch wrestling. I think that was part of it as well, because not a lot of
Right.
females were watching wrestling, only the
They had,
males.
then they had a calendar at one time.
So
I mean, even they were heels. I mean, they had the attention
yeah,
of the ladies.
they had.
I mean, they worked. Now, did you like Jim Cornette managing them in
Yep.
'91?
It didn't fit to me, him managing them, because they really didn't need one, at the time, because their charisma and their outfits and the way they
So
talk
right,
and it spoke for
they
themselves.
came in, they were baby faces, and
They
Cornette
just
comes in, boom, they turn on Lawler. Then they go out, they win USWA tag titles, and had a good feud with Lawler. I believe it was Jeff Jarrett, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, because the
Oh,
Fabulous one weren't heels to me. They were always babies.
I know.
You couldn't turn them heel
Right, just like we always talk
because they were
about,
too likable.
wrestlers that turn heel but shouldn't, or vice versa. Yeah, they was definitely one of them. Now we about to shift left. I don't know how much you know about this team or heard about this team, but I know that they don't wrestle anymore, anything like that. But somebody brought this up. They said, "What are your thoughts on the Christopher Street connection?" Now,
I kind of know about them, but I think that's in more
let
than
me
your
segue to
department.
a lot of
But
people
yeah,
who
go
don't
ahead.
know who I'm talking about. The Christopher Street connection was a openly gay tag team. Two guys, when they cut promos, they used to kiss each other. They used to go in the crowd and kiss male fans and do homosexual stuff in the ring. And somebody said, "What are the thoughts on that?" I really don't have a thought on it because it was kind of, I don't know how a lot of wrestlers did it. I mean, one match I saw them in, they was, I guess they had a girl on the team with them, and the dude closed his eyes, and one of the Christopher Street Connection started kissing him, and he opened his eyes and realized it was the dude. Now there are just some things, even if the other guy was straight and he kind of let it ride, that just ain't something that I wouldn't allow. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a little bit too much. Being that you're a homosexual,
right,
that's your preference, but it's even if you want to bring it to your gimmick, but there's that line. I know, especially in 2020, that's just something that probably
right.
wouldn't have flew. I don't know how it flew in that match, but it is what it is. And I remember looking at some of their promos, and a lot of the interviews was feeling uncomfortable with it. So they was like really over the top. And I remember I saw one match. I mean, they
Right.
got beat down. I believe I want to say it was a Ring of Honor show, like early Ring of Honor, and they just got beat down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I said, a lot of like situations like that. I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. Somebody probably wouldn't say much now, but back then, don't know. It was just one of those things that was one of them I couldn't deal with. I felt uncomfortable when I'm watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, that's a make. I think I feel the same way. 'Cause I wouldn't have done that regardless. I don't care how much you paid me or whatever. I wouldn't have done that. That's just me. Nothing against them. That's your preference. But me,
I'm
I
like,
wouldn't have
because you
done
don't
that
see
at
wrestlers. I'll
all.
just use an example. Sonny Kiss. He's an openly gay man.
All right.
I mean, he's very flamboyant, very feminine,
Mm-hmm.
but he don't do stuff that they did back then. They probably wouldn't say too much about
Right.
it,
He kind
especially
of
in, in,
holds it.
in this era. They wouldn't say too much about it. But like I said, that's one of the ones I think what they make it now in pro wrestling, they'll probably be stuck in the indies. They'll probably never put that on TV. That'll never happen.
Mm-mm. Just like kind of like with Darren, like kind of like with Darren Young, but Darren Young, they didn't
Yeah,
go all
Darren
out
Young
with it,
in his case, like he basically
So.
just openly came out, but he was still being his gimmick. I said now he's on the indies, he's promoting it more.
Yep.
I mean he's promoting it more. Like I said, he's going to New Japan. He's doing his thing down there, but he kept it home. I'll say. I said, yeah, we know because like a lot of guys, like Chris Canyon, we never knew he
Mm-hmm.
was gay till he until he retired. We never knew
Mm-mm.
that. I mean, like I said, some people are more
Yeah.
open with it, some not, but more people understand some things can really hear. It's not because of you exactly. It's just, especially if you're trying to get TV deals and all this other stuff, everybody's sensitive
Right.
lately. I mean, the sensitivity level is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they would definitely.
Oh yeah, no
And
doubt.
I'm not saying they would, but in my opinion, I think they would not go no further than the Indies. But again, this is the Get Snap podcast. It is
Yeah.
Q&A Wednesday night. Darnell Sparrow and Antoine Smooth. No, we talking. No, we shooting our thoughts and our opinions and all this stuff. Some may disagree, some may not. But that's what a good conversation is. Gotta have a little bit of everything. Whether you like it, don't like it, you know. That's why we answer the questions. We answer them honestly. And that's one thing good about this show. We will definitely be honest about it, and we're gonna keep it 100. But we're
Right.
not
No
sugarcoating.
sugarcoating over here.
We're gonna move on. Someone asked if you could be in a group, faction, or stable, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. Um, to be honest, right now, I'm gonna go right now. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, not back then, but right now, I'd rather be in the hurt
Okay.
business right now.
Now, I kind of
Cause man, they on
they'll
fire right
definitely on
now.
fire.
Yeah.
Now, say present tense, I agree. If I had to go past tense, that's hard. I mean, you probably get the obvious ones, like the horseman and all that. But I'd rather be in a state with Gary Young. I'd rather be with
I,
Jake Tex.
really, I would kind of leaning
I went
towards the
old school on
nation.
this one because one thing about Gary Young,
Okay.
I mean, he had one of my friends. He had Muda. That was number one. I could tag team with Muda. He
Yeah.
made Al Perez look like a star, and I don't know why Al
Oh,
Perez never won an NWA any type of championship. But Mad Dog
he
Buzz,
had
he
a
had some
Mad
he had
Dog
some
Buzz
bad
Sawyer.
boys in his group, and he can talk too, and he made you.
Yeah.
Yep, he made you look good,
Terry Funk.
real good.
Yep. That's a very good one right there. Because
Yeah, I'm
I'm a
calling him
huge
Gary.
fan
See,
of
I'm
Gary
calling him
Hart.
Gary
You're
Young.
right.
That's the wrestler,
That
Gary
was a
Hart.
good one.
Thank you.
Gary Young.
Yeah,
Yeah, Gary Hart. That's gorgeous, Gary Young. You talking about
I'm going world
back in
class and
with the
everything.
wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, I have Gary Hart
Mm-hmm.
sell me and made me look like $1 million. He should have had more champions. He's
Yeah, definitely agree. He did have
he
Muda as
had that
TV
young
champion. Um,
at that
I think
time.
that was the only one,
Uh,
right?
I know
Yeah.
Bad Doug Boy he has a championship. I think it
Hmm.
was under his watch though. Therefore,
Yeah.
I'm going with Gary. Hold on, mine. We're gonna move on now. This is current. Now I saw this in the article. They're going through some stuff. They talked about the main event for Bound for Glory for the Impact World Championship. Eric Young going up against Rich Swann. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good match. It makes sense because ever since Eric Young went back to Impact, he just been on a tear. You know, hurting people left and right. He called the
Right. I
world
said
class maniac for
he
a
literally
reason, right?
put Rich Swann out,
It's,
and
yeah,
I wouldn't mind
he
seeing
put
Rich
Rich
Swann winning
Swann
that
out.
match. Because I think to me, when he came to Impact, it like we really got to see how good he really is. And I think WWE
Hmm.
really failed him. I mean, he had the cruiserweight belt, but they let that incident
Yeah.
with him and his wife Sue Young. I mean, that just you pretty much just told him to go
Hmm.
screw himself. But you didn't let people who done a whole lot worse stay in WWE. I mean,
Right. Because see, that actually worked for him too. Because him and Willie Mack, that's one of my favorite teams right now. Because those two just work well together. They just like a well-oiled machine. They got
right.
chemistry. Him and
And Willie
Willie
Mack,
Mack.
big dude who can do stuff that Rich Swann does. And that's crazy.
Right.
I would definitely love to see Rich Swann win that
Hmm.
championship. To be honest with you, I think it's probably going to happen. I
Yeah.
definitely think it's gonna. I would love to see it. Like I said, I think if they sell it correctly, we'll know just based off, what happens between now and Bound for Glory, if he's gonna win it or not.
Hmm.
But Eric Young,
It looks. I mean, it's looking good though. I mean, it's the everything, the setup
everything
and
is
everything
definitely
look
looking
good. Yeah.
good. I mean, and I think, like I said, Rich Swann is very, very underrated. And with that said, I got two questions, two underrated questions, by the way. So we're gonna start off with most underrated big man.
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know who you
No,
think as
no,
far as who think
nobody
the
in
most
particular.
underrated big
Just
man. To me, I'm gonna say the most underrated big man to me was King Kong Bundy. I think King Kong Bundy,
that's an
especially
interesting one.
in the early when he was feuding with Hogan, doing the 5 count.
Hmm.
I think if Hogan won the round, he probably would have had the belt.
Right.
Big. Just look at him. He had no neck. He,
Right.
he literally was hurting people. Even when he came
Right.
back with the $1 million team, I don't think he
Hmm.
really got that push. I mean, he was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he in the run in
Yeah.
the CWA?
Yeah. Did a little run with had Rude
Right.
and Jim Neidhart with
So
him. Yeah.
he definitely didn't get it. But who you thinking?
Hmm. Well, um, I may be going kind of left field here, and you're gonna be like, "What is
Oh,
you?
you just
You sure about that pick?" I want to say this: Andre the
hmm.
Giant. Now we're talking about Andre the Giant uh, before before he kept growing. Because Andre,
Yeah,
I seen Andre drop kick folks.
I have too.
You know, I right. Like this is before he. That's when he had the big long hair and the big chops. And had just had the tights. He didn't have
You
the
taking all the way back
singlet
to
yet.
the AWA days, huh?
And right. And Andre, man, Andre could work. I actually seen him back in the 70s. He could work. Even though it was like handicaps, and he did one-on-one matches too. Yeah, I mean, Andre told a story. He didn't have to do much. That's what made him. And of course, later on, his
Right.
health started to get kind of bad. And but he still could work any opponent. He worked Macho Man. You
Right.
know what I mean? Macho Man quick as a cat. You know. So I say Andre was because he could work anybody. It didn't matter who it was. He could work the
Now,
littlest
I know
dude
they
in the
gave
room
him
and make
quote
him look
unquote
good. You know
credit
what I mean?
for being the world heavyweight champion, but truth be
Yeah.
told, he should have legitimately had a title run. I know they were trying to. My thing is that what
Yeah.
they should have did.
He,
If you want to get technical about it, what they should have did was this. Andre should have been champion at WrestleMania 3. He should have been champion, and it would have worked out perfect. Especially they really were trying to get Hulkamania over. I mean, it was already over, but he beat the big man. I mean, you power slam him, drop the leg, and you
right.
take the title. To me, that would have told a whole lot.
Right.
It would have told the story better. To me,
So you saying like if Andre would have beat Hogan for the title, then it would have Hogan chase the
right?
title and the
I
fans
said. I mean,
rally
even
behind him.
even like I said, even if he didn't beat
Hmm.
Hogan to win the title, just the fact that he was champion. He was champion. No, for that 1 minute, he was
Yeah.
popular. No, Hogan had his back. Then here come Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan getting in his ear,
Yeah.
trying to tell him, you're in Hulk Hogan's shadow, in a sense, and Hogan will take that title and beat him.
Right.
To me, that would have told a better story.
Hmm. That was a good one right there. I likes that. That would have been
Like I said,
yeah.
the
That was real
run. I
good.
mean, they gave him that quote unquote Saturday Night Main Event championship. I mean, that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It really didn't. I think they should have just went ahead and let DiBiase have a run with the belt. Just let it ride. He Andre won it. He bought the title. Let it ride.
And also that was the highest rated segment they said
Right.
in
I
the
mean,
history of NBC.
had the two referees.
That, yeah, when Hogan and Andre had the
And
rematch, had the two
stay on
referees.
state
Yeah.
DiBiase for a minute. They should either let that ride, or, and it's just my opinion, he should have won WrestleMania 4. He should have won the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I know he got to.
Yeah.
I know he got to the
Yeah.
finals, but we all know,
Yeah.
they trying to get Savage over.
Yeah.
But let's see what we got going. So we're gonna
Yeah.
stay on underrated. What was the most underrated feud? Now we talking. I see this is one of those
Mm,
ones when
yeah.
I say the listeners challenging us. 'Cause this
Yeah.
is
Just thinking
hard,
caps, man.
and we had so many feuds that we could talk about. But past the present, I think. What do you think is probably the most underrated feud? We probably had to, like I said, if they ever,
Oh man.
when we ever do this live and we have comments, this would have been the one I would have had to get the fans involved. Like help us out on this one, on a
Mm-hmm.
good underrated feud.
I may have to
Go for it.
go to Memphis on this one. Oh man. Um, it's gonna be involving Jerry Lawler. Um, of course, everybody
Right.
mentions him and Eddie Gilbert, right? And talked about that was pretty good. But I think him and Austin Idol
Because
was underrated because
right.
at first they was partners, right? And then of course, they went against the Road Warriors when the Road Warriors came to Memphis, and all of a sudden Austin Idol, everybody loved Austin Idol, even though he was cocky, you know. Everybody liked him. He was very popular down here. And then for him to turn heel like that on Jerry Lawler, like I said, back to the cage with Tommy Rich. Um, they didn't. I don't think that got the credit it deserved because Jerry Lawler, Austin
Right.
Idol went at it, tooth and nail. Same with him and Handsome Jimmy Valiant. I'll throw him in there as well. Because I still remember my parents was telling me that uh, Handsome Jimmy, this when he was Jerry was a heel. Handsome Jimmy came and broke the bottle. He cracked a beer bottle over Jerry Lawler's head. You know, they had some bloody feuds as well. And so yeah, I'm gonna say him and Idol and him and Handsome Jimmy were the two underrated. They don't hardly talk about that. They always talk about Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee, which is nothing wrong with that because they had the greatest feud in Memphis wrestling
I would
history.
say for me, I think the most I had to think about it while he was talking. I think the most underrated was Nikita
Mm-hmm.
Koloff and Magnum TA. And I say that because they were feuding. One, they were feuding over the United States
Okay.
Championship, of course, and it did the whole best of 7. And Magnum TA was down 3-0.
Right.
And he pretty much had to came in, even though he ended up
Mm-hmm.
losing. But the way they told that story, I
Right.
said it was more. It was not even just the U.S. versus the Soviet Union. It's the fact you got two legit. I'm gonna say there was some badass. Both of them were great. And that's the Nikita Kola. I mean, that big jacked up. He was jacked up. Then he was just laying folks out. And he had
Right. Not that Nikita that came out
with the
back in '88, I think. He got
yeah, that
smaller,
didn't look
grew
right at all.
hair.
Definitely looked right.
Yeah.
And Nikita back then he had Uncle Ivan with him. I mean, they it got to a point they ended up respecting each
Yeah.
other at the end and ended up becoming part of the superpowers.
Right. Okay.
I mean, they definitely,
That's
like I
pretty
said, they
good
told the
underrated one.
story. Like I said, it was over the United States
Mm-hmm.
Championship. That best of 7. I mean, they made that definitely work. Yeah,
Yeah.
one so hard. I think, like I said, you got a lot of Memphis history and knowledge, so you definitely can swing it that way. Even and what's good about it is a lot of fans don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. They
My,
got to throw that little history lesson in there,
just,
So
but let's go on to the next one. What are your
yeah.
thoughts on the WWE women's tag team
All
titles?
right.
No, I'm gonna go first. Yeah,
I think
I'm
they
gonna
just
say
have.
this. They're
Yeah.
not using it the way they
Go ahead.
should because like I said, you keeping it on Raw and SmackDown. You very seldom go to NXT. This would be a good time to really push it on all 3 brands. You already broke up the Iconics.
Right.
You bought, yeah, I didn't get that.
Which I think that was dumb.
I think you bought the Riot
Yeah.
Squad back together, which I knew
Mm-hmm.
at some point that was gonna happen. You got Lana and Natalia together, which to me
Mm-hmm.
that's almost burying Natalia. I get the kind of where they're trying to go with it, but
Mm-hmm.
Natalia, one is too good for that. I mean,
Right. I understand that Lana being her manager and everything, that's fine, but her teaming up with her, you know,
so they definitely. I said this would be a good time to push them teams in NXT. I say I wouldn't mind. Like I said, I
yeah,
keep
I
saying it,
agree with that.
but I think Chauncey Blackheart and Tegan Knox should get a run with those tag belts. Right now they got Tegan, doing the whole Gargano Candice LeRae storyline, but they gotta
Mm-hmm.
do something. I would love to see Chauncey Blackheart Tegan Knox with those belts. They're not doing what I figured they was gonna do with them, so I don't see them really hanging on to those title belts as far as I say by next year they'll probably be defunct. That might be.
Yeah, because these
They, they,
women's titles got
they got
so
definitely
much
got a lot of
potential,
potential.
but they're
And on
not
top of the fact
executing it
you
properly.
broke Bailey and Sasha Banks up, this will be a good time to put some new faces on those belts.
Yeah,
But this is the perfect
right. Like you said, the NXT, these teams like
right.
Kane Carter and Casey Catanzaro. Now you got Xia Lee teaming up with what's that girl name? Was it Xia Lee and
I haven't even
I
watched
was
that.
watching NXT tonight. Jessica Maya. Yeah, Jessica Maya. Yeah, them two was teamed up. So yeah, they got
That
potential. They just
exactly
need to
it. So
execute
earlier
on it.
we talked about Roman Reigns, you know, possibly, wrestling the Rock and something like that. But how long do you think Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns gonna stay together?
I don't see this as a long term thing. Um, Brock eventually is gonna come back.
Right.
We mentioned this before. Brock is gonna come back, and it's gonna be to the point where I'm not to say Paul had to choose which one, but to me right now, since Brock isn't there, I kind of see it's kind of a short, long term type of deal. Kind of 50-50, you know what I mean? Um, but to me, I'm leaning more towards the short end because of
Now
Brock. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna give it about an 80% chance. Like I said, I agree. The Brock factor plays a part in it, but I'm thinking I'm still probably gonna go till after WrestleMania. So if we see Brock, it probably won't be till after WrestleMania. And if he comes back, it all depends on how they produce that story. If Brock comes back,
Yeah.
will he rock with him? Will he rock with him just to set up to get a title shot? Yes, it was definitely a Brock factor, but I definitely seeing going. I give him maybe two pay-per-views after WrestleMania. They might kind of fade away from it. But if you really want to be honest, I see this
Yeah.
because there's really nobody that can beat Roman right now. Roman Reigns could be a dominant Universal Champion, and if they go that route, then Paul Heyman with him, it's perfect. So I'm gonna give it about 80-20.
Right. 80-20. Okay.
Now, I think we might have talked about this for a little bit once before. Like I said, we get so many questions, but should SmackDown have their own version of Raw Underground?
Just why not? I mean, if Raw can do it, might well have SmackDown do it, and that way the folks that's underutilized, they could be put on SmackDown Underground. So yeah, I believe they need to have one for them as
Right.
well. Like the folks that don't be on TV that much, they can get an opportunity on SmackDown Underground. Have
That,
somebody else
that
host
was my
that,
next
and have
question.
Shane host the Raw one.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Hmm.
If that happens, who should run SmackDown Underground?
Well, from the things that's looking right
Agreed.
now,
See,
I say Samoa
you
Joe.
already was thinking that because that was my guess. I'm like that. That'll be
Hmm. Whenever he gets from injury, yeah, while he's recovering from injury, he can do that.
oh, most definitely, most
Perfect.
definitely. Let's see what we got.
Hmm.
Since we talking about, we talked about the women's tag belts. We got a question. Now, there were rumors because I did hear it too. I don't know if you did. There were rumors that they're possibly going to unify the Raw and SmackDown tag belts again. Would you agree with that?
Uh, that's a tough question right there, man.
Right.
They giving us the
They
questions
nailed.
tonight, aren't they?
And why you think about
Oh
it, let me say it. It's
goodness.
gonna depend on,
Yeah.
you know, the amount of tag teams you got combined. I mean, if you don't have that many as it is,
Yeah.
then yeah, I can see you unifying them. But again, it's kind of thing I had with
Hmm.
the WWE Women's Belt tag belts. They can go to all three brands. If you're the unified champions, you need to go to all three brands.
Hmm.
Understanding NXT has their own tag team championships, but that'll be a good thing to see multi-brand matches, just like the Win Worlds Collide thing. That would be good. So if they
Right.
unify them, I, w- I would say keep it tri-branded. Don't get rid of NXT tag belts, or at least not right now. Like I said, it's going to depend on the amount of the tag teams.
Yeah, I was leaning towards that since you mentioned that. It depends on the tag team, like you said. Um, I don't think they should. Since now I got the question now. Yeah, I don't think they should now because, like you said, it depends on tag teams. If you don't have enough tag teams, then there's no reason for you to do that. Now, if you have plenty of tag teams out there, then yeah, I can see it. You know, but other than that,
Maybe they
nah,
was talking about
they
having
don't need to do it.
the Street Profits fight Cesaro and Nakamura again, but this time both tag team belts is on the line. Now, if you now let's put that on the table. If
Yeah,
that would have happened, who deserves to be the unified out of the two?
I say that out of the two, I think
Interesting. I thought
Cesaro
you
and
was gonna go
Shinsuke
Street Profits.
Nakamura.
Now, I would have said that
Mm-mm.
I would probably would have went the other way, but I'm really not feeling Nakamura and Cesaro. Be honest with you, I missed the bar. I, I
Okay,
missed the bar.
that's fair.
I believe at some point they're probably going to get back together. But again, we talked about this in a previous podcast. Cesaro needs Chris Hero. They, they need
The
to. I
Kings of
don't know
Wrestling.
why they let that just slip by. And they both are in WWE. Truth be told, Catch don't know was
I
on
don't get that.
NXT. But that would be something. They need to bring the Kings of Wrestling back. At least do it for a WWE exclusive. Do it for WWE exclusive show. See how the fans like it,
Right.
and let them dictate it. Because you and I both know if they reunited, you're gonna hear Kings of Wrestling. I mean, I think the merch is gonna go through the roof, and I think it'll work.
Right.
So WWE, if you got a representative that listen to this show, go bring Cassius Ohno back, reunite the Kings of Wrestling. Matter of fact, when you do that, make sure they're Kings of Wrestling names. All this Antonio Cesaro and Cassius. No, we want Chris Hero. We want
Mm-mm.
Claudia. Uh, can't even say the damn name. But him,
Claudio
him.
Castagnoli. Claudio
Man, I'm tired.
Castagnoli.
I'm tired.
Yes,
Goddamn it!
I
I
nailed it
can't
finally.
even. You know who I'm talking about out there.
Hey, yeah,
Y'all know who
Claudio
I'm talking about in the Get
Castagnoli.
Snap
That's right.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't the only one who can't say it. That's one of them tongue twisters.
Right. It took me a minute, just to say it. I had to
And if
say it.
and
Claudio
I'm gonna say this:
Castagnoli.
if you're
Yeah.
not convinced with what I said, type up the Kings of Wrestling, type their names up. Guarantee you, especially when they were Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, I
Hmm.
guarantee you will not be disappointed. I promise you that. I would love to see them back together. I don't care if it was just for a short run. I definitely would like to see it. Now we're gonna take it to
Right.
AEW a little bit, just a sip. And somebody asked, would Darby Allin be
All
a
right.
better fit in NXT or stay in AEW?
Oh, this is an easy question here.
Hmm.
He needs to stay at AEW. Uh, the reason I say that is because in NXT, I don't think they're doing right. In NXT, he may get a little bit, run maybe chasing after the cruiserweight title, maybe 205 live, but that's about it. But in AEW, as you can see now, they
Oh yeah,
pushing him. He's
no doubt.
he's a talented wrestler. You know, he's very talented. He can skateboard. He skateboards to the ring. I mean, he's a legit skateboarder. So he's athletic. And he got a good gimmick with the half face paint and everything. And yeah, but WWE wouldn't have let him do that because he would have just been just probably a job guy or something like that. Uh, somebody like somebody to
I see. I
feed the
kind of looking
carrying
at it
cross or
from
something.
a different perspective.
Mhm.
I was looking at it from this way because Darby Allin.
Really.
One thing, if Darby Allin came to NXT, let's just say he came to NXT, he'll have that young generation demographic
Hmm.
easy. I think he'll sell a lot of merchandise.
Uh huh.
They know he skateboards, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna find a way to market him in that outlet. With the skateboard, they even might actually probably start selling Darby Allin legit skateboards. I don't remember too many people that still do it. I say if they market him right, he will fit perfect in NXT. I wouldn't even 4-5 live. I say NXT. Like I say, he
Mm.
is talented. He's different. And I guarantee he'll say something in a sense of, he's like a
Yeah.
modern day Jeff Hardy. I could see them saying
Mm.
that
Okay, that says a
about
lot
him.
there.
But like I say, he's different.
Yeah.
And I think NXT, I think they would have used him right. It just like I say, if they would have kept him like that, and it just would have took his image, they would have marketed him. They may probably made some good money off of Darby. Like I said, he got that youth movement behind him. Yeah, I definitely see him doing something
Hmm.
with him. Yeah. Okay, next question.
Interesting. Okay.
Will Kalisto make a good heel?
Oh, man. I haven't really seen much of him to notice that. I don't know. That's kind of a hard question to answer because
Uh,
I mostly see him as
let me
babyface. But
I would say because I've
that's
seen
a
I
tough
can
one
see
there.
the heelness
Yeah.
coming out of him, and he will make a good heel
Uh huh.
only if he do the same thing heel Del Fantasma did and turned into Santos Escobar. If he take that mask off, he got to redo his whole look. Kalisto name got to go. You need to just
Okay.
reinvent yourself. Cause Santo Escobar, I'm feeling that. I mean, I'm used to seeing El Hill De
Oh, okay.
Fantasma, seeing him in different independent promotion stuff
Yeah.
like that. But when he took that mask off and they just
Mm-hmm.
repackaged him, I'm feeling that. That's gonna be the same thing for Kalisto. If you go heel and you leave the Lucha House Party, you need to take your mask off. I mean, you got a whole new body. You got, you got a whole new body, and I can see
Yeah, I
the
noticed
heelness.
that. Yeah.
He called himself the leader of the Lucha House Party. The way he was talking to his competitors when they wrestled,
Mhm.
when he talked about watch how he do things. Again, he turned heel, mask got to
Yeah.
come off.
So he can be like, okay, that makes sense. And then, when he's like you said, when he was El Hijo del Fantasma,
Right,
that changed his whole
right.
career right there. Now he's cruiserweight champion. He's Santos Escobar. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Sure.
Let's see. Okay, so we talked about the Hurt Business
Yeah, I see
earlier,
that.
and someone that should all the members of the Hurt Business have a
Hmm.
championship.
To make him more out. Yeah, sure. I would like to see that.
Yep,
Hey, you got Bobby Lashley, the U.S.
yep. I
champion.
would say.
You know, have Cedric and
I would
Shelton
say
as
I would
tag
say three
champs.
out the four. I say to me MVP don't need it. I definitely Bobby
No, he
Lashley
don't.
U.S. champion. Yes, I say they had the 24/7 belt when Shelton had it, and that probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah. Now I can see MVP holding it though. I don't mind, I mind seeing MVP get 24/7 title. Because that'll be perfect for the Hurt bid. The 24/7 title. That belt's defended
Now,
24 hours a day. So the
yeah,
Hurt business. That's all
I'm,
they
I'm
about is
glad you
hurting
brought that up.
people.
So, what are your
So
thoughts on them fighting Retribution? Like I said, they came
I
in,
would
they took
love to
them
see
on.
that.
I didn't even see that coming. So
Yeah,
that was different.
I didn't either. The Hurt business and Retribution. Oh
That was
yeah,
definitely different. But
yeah.
they got to stay heels. But I definitely would love to see, like I
Hmm.
said, the main three: Cedric, Shelton. They get some championships. The MVP don't need it. I mean, he did look good with
No,
the
no.
U.S. title, wrong with the suits and all and everything like that. But I
Yeah.
would like to see it too. So I'm gonna skip a couple of questions because we're getting a little short on time. We've been rolling. Yeah, we've been rolling.
Oh my goodness,
So next
already?
question: will you be purchasing
Jeez.
WWE Battleground? Yep, so did I.
I already
Already
got a
got a
pre-order.
pre-order. I will be getting it. See, I bought so many games. I haven't even played NBA 2K21 yet. I mean, that Avengers is off the chain. If you haven't played that, I definitely recommend it. I mean, the storyline to it is real good. I mean, the realism is damn incredible.
Hmm.
I can't even explain it. So, if you a gamer, like I say, I'm a gamer. I'm not up, down, down type. But if you into the superheroes and stuff like that, definitely get that new Avengers.
I think I'm gonna have to cop that myself because
The
I've been hearing
realism
good
is
things about
crazy.
it.
It's definitely crazy. Let's see, scroll down.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Which organization you think pushed Tuco Scorpio the best? Now this to me should be easy.
Oh yeah, this
There it
easy,
is.
no doubt. ECW.
I mean, he won some tag team titles.
ECW.
In Japan and whatnot. I remember Vader being one of his partners. But yeah, ECW definitely made him look good. Now, with that being said, you think he should have won the NWA title tournament, or Shane Douglas was in the right place, right time type of deal?
Yeah, Shane was at the right place, right time. Uh, Throwing the NWA title down, and yeah, that because if it would have been Two Cold Scorpio, I don't think it would have received the same notoriety as it does right now. But Shane was at the right place at the right time, so yeah, it was best for
Okay.
Shane to do that.
So we definitely agree.
At that
So
time.
we're gonna finish it with this last question. What are your thoughts on Mr. T headlining WrestleMania 1 with Hogan?
That was a huge deal. Me as a kid being a huge Mr. T fan, loving the
Yep.
being a fan of the 18, you know, and to see a Mr. T and Hulk Hogan, that
That
was a
was
dream
dream
come
matches
true.
before dream
I
matches.
loved it. Right. And then you went against uh Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Then you had Cowboy Bob Orton in the corner, and then had Jimmy Snooker in the a corner, Hogan and Mr. T. Man, that was a dream come true, man. I was when I saw me,
Right.
I had his cereal, you know, I had his cereal. So yeah,
You had the
seeing
Mr.
that
T
man was just
cereal.
I was in
Shit, of
awe,
course
you
you had
know.
the 18. I mean, I'm trying to figure
Yeah,
out how he managed to keep it. He had a strong neck.
right.
They have all that jewelry on. I mean,
Yeah, all he
like,
had was
I'm like, how
overalls
you
and
saving the
that's it,
world with
no
all that
shirt.
jewelry on? Your jewelry never got dirty.
Never. And you got to do all that running and like with Murdoch and Hannibal and Face and all them, you got to do how you running with all that jewelry.
Right. And I never understood that.
I don't get it.
Never understood that. But yeah, like I said, I agree
Mm-mm.
with you. I mean, especially during that time, I mean, Mr. T was the hottest thing going. Then to team him up with the guy, probably the most over
Mm-hmm.
guy in the company. You go up against two dudes. Number one, they couldn't stand Piper back then. They could have put
No.
me and you in that
Mm-mm.
match. We would have got over. Longer enough, we going after Piper. Said then I got
Right.
you had Mr. Wonderful. He had his issues with
Right.
Hogan, so it made sense. Now, if you had to choose a wrestler at that time to put in, it wasn't Mr. T. Would Snooker been a good fit?
Uh, yeah, he kind of would have been a good fit because of the he was coming off the
Right.
jumping off the top of the cage on Don Morocco with that momentum. So he would have been a good fit. Um,
Yep.
Junkyard Dog would have been a good fit because he was popular. He
So
was on the same popularity as Hogan was.
especially coming from Mid South.
You know, yeah, coming from Mid South, with that momentum, yeah,
Well, I
he would have been
definitely
perfect.
agree with that one. I say Snooker at that time. It would have been a little hard.
Yeah, the reason I said just
Right.
because of the, jumping off the
He
cage
definitely had the
on
name. I said,
Morocco. That's the
if
only
I
reason.
would love to
Yeah.
see the baby face Andre in that role. That would
Yeah.
have made sense. But like I said, obviously it worked. He went to WrestleMania too. It was a boxing match, but something better than nothing. But ladies and gentlemen, time flies when you're having fun. And again, that is it. Time flies when having
Oh,
fun. And
that's
like I
it.
said, when we get shows like this,
Oh my.
I mean, I enjoy 'em, even though I love all the shows we do. But these Q&As, I love the fact that you challenge us. I love that we get to bring that knowledge to y'all. Someone like they know what they talking about. There's some true wrestling fans right there. But before we roll out, I'm gonna say, we got hurricanes coming. I mean, this is hurricane season, and hurricanes right behind each other, right behind each other, right behind each other. One thing I will say is listen to the news. Listen to the news. Listen to what they tell you. I was a victim of Hurricane Katrina. I didn't listen. And when I listened, it was too late. I know what it's like to be strong. I know what it's like to be stuck. So definitely when they tell you roll out, roll out. No, don't try to be don't try to be that brave soul. I mean, like I've said, items are replaceable, but your life is not. So definitely,
True that.
be ready, be ready to go. You know, especially if you got family that's close by. I mean, call them. I mean, that's their family. That's what they're supposed to be there for. Like I said, these hurricanes right behind each other. They got one. They said it may end up being in Category 4. The next one that's coming through. I mean, I know a lot of school districts in Mississippi have already, been shutting down. I mean, just be mindful, just be careful. I'm praying for everybody in those areas. Because this is trouble. I'm being all I'm hogging up on the light. We're gonna close it out with you. Then you want to put out before we close shop?
Oh yeah. Like I said, man, just you know, be careful out there. Watch the news. I'm gonna pray for everybody. Hopefully that it don't be as bad as we think it'll be, and just just stay strong, and everything will be okay. And also, don't
Definitely
forget to
support
support your local
support
indie
independent
shows as well.
wrestling. Support support companies like Pro Wrestling Tees. Support Collar and Elbow. By the way, go to collarandelbow.com. Use that code Snap Customs. You will save 10%, and that includes the sale merchandise as well. And they always ask you if you want to round up what you sell. That money goes to the Cauliflower Alley Club. So they doing great things on that end. And Collar and Elbow stay keeping new merch in. I still have merch I haven't even worn yet, so I'm definitely going to be doing that. Going to be going live on the Snap Customs Facebook page a lot more with that merchandise. But for now, Wednesday night Q&A is over. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say thank you more than enough times. Definitely appreciate you listening to us. But we about to get out of here. Before I go, as always, www.snapcustoms.com. You want us to talk about certain things? Shoot us an email. Hit us up on Messenger. Check out the toy store by Snap Customs. I mean, support that young man. Christmas is coming up. You already know where I'm going with it, so I'm not gonna blabber blah. I did a lot of talking already. But again, like you said, support independent wrestling. There's some shows coming up. Let us know. We will promote you. Wrestlers, you want to come on the show, let us know. We would love to have you on. You got wrestling profiles, shoot us an email. We will let you know what we need to profile you. And then now I'm done. So for myself, Darnell Sparrow, Antoine Smooth on the other side, this is the Get Snapped podcast. Get snapped. We out of here.
Peace.